How? Okay, we're recording. Howdy, people. Solo-Tasman Yacht Challenge for 2023. We've got 3 boats who've had to retire. That's that. Actually, I'll bring out the team's window here. It's the April, the Melting Pot, which is in Auckland, and the Nerissa K. So, yeah. We've had Saru got over there fast, like I think it was 10 days and 4 hours fast. I'll just zoom in a little bit so you can get a bit more definition on the lines they took, because man, must have encountered some kind of a wind or something around just out of New Plymouth here. And as you see, someone almost got lost. Obviously they were following Melting Pot, and Melting Pot had electronic issues, which means their GPS obviously wasn't working quite as well as it probably should have been. You follow these up, you come to Crocus, who is nice 6.1 nautical knots, doing pretty decently, but is 6th in line. Retired is basically a did not finish. The Frontier with Alistair Dixon at the helm is 7.3 knots. Hang on, I'll just zoom in a little bit more so I can get an accurate measurement here. Let's go from somewhere up in here down to the nose of the Frontier, if I can do it without that popping up. We are roughly I'd say about 99 nautical miles away. Yeah, 99 nautical miles away from, maybe close to 100 nautical miles away from the ones battling it out for 2nd and 3rd. Up here we've got Mr. Lucky, who's 3rd and 3rd at the moment. A smidgen of a nose out in front of Allegris, by the way. 6.8 knots, 7 knots. Yeah, they've been doing about anywhere from about 6 to 8 knots an hour. So it's a decent strong wind. Jim O'Keefe and Hullabaloo, if he joins the crew, it's going to be an absolute battle for the spots. So that's going to be interesting. I'll keep you updated with that. He's at 2nd at the moment, 8.4 knots an hour. But he's really using that lovely wind. If you look over here, you've got the Saru, who's finished, and I believe I saw, instead of 10 days 10 hours and 30 minutes, I saw it was within about 10 days and 4 hours. So he really motored it. Yeah, finished at almost 3 PM this afternoon, New Zealand time. So, and if we zoom out a little bit, I can't quite get my finger on the line there. And we come down to this guy, Mr. Lucky, with the ruler. We are looking at about 44 nautical miles. NM is nautical miles. Then we go over to Hullabaloo, and Hullabaloo's roughly 2 nautical miles closer. So, and at the speed they're going, they've probably got another 3 or 4 hours, 5 or 6 hours, sorry, to go. This is about to refresh in just over 3 minutes time. So when it does refresh, latency is a thing. It's a pain, but yeah. Frontier, and furthermore, Crocus here are both going to be. Crocus, I will be surprised if they don't retire. They've obviously found trouble. Let's just put that there because I know that's roughly there. Yeah, Crocus is over 300 nautical miles out from the finish line. He's got at least a good day of travelling, and he's either he's been fighting currents or hasn't quite got acclimatized to the wind or something. The Frontier, 144 nautical miles. He's probably got about 8 hours to go. 8 to 10 hours to go. Allegress, 42, 41, Mr. Lucky, 42, and Hullabaloo is just under 40. I will hit pause, and in the magic of video, I'll be right back after the 9 o'clock refresh. So, yeah. This couple here look to be absolutely having a fight of their life. I mean, from about here, up here, and if we zoom in on their trace, you can see they've been dog fighting it all the way along here. So, yeah. They've been having a good fight. If they collide paths with Hullabaloo at some stage, that would make it even more interesting. I'll catch you on the update. Alright, I'm back. It is the 10 o'clock update. Admittedly 10:15, but this updates every half hour or when one of the boats hits the finish line. Mr. Lucky is the measurement you're seeing on screen of about 37.7 nautical miles to the finish. That extends ever so slightly if I put the pin right on the tip of Allegress with 38. And over here, Mr. Who are you? Hullabaloo. Looks like he's gonna make a little bit of noise soon. It's 35, so 7 knots. I can't get to Allegress because that logo's in the way, so I'm zoomed up 8 times. 6.7 and 7.9, so yeah, they're doing within spec. I've cut that off. I'm gonna zoom down and see if I can't. Crocus still hasn't made a lot of. That's Craig Ainsley, by the way. One would think Craig Ainsley would actually make some noise and be in amongst it, but no, he's way back. Distance to finish 3.195 nautical miles, 140, 38, 38.3 and 35.9. So yeah, as you see up here, it's getting really close and it's looking really good. Let's just take you back to the top three. Since Taylor has crossed paths, Mr. Lucky and Alec Grace haven't crossed paths again. Mr. Lucky looks like he's heading for the line. Let's see if he can get on it and stay on it, because that's your finish line right up here. Mr. Hullabaloo's going to have to come in and he's going to have to swing around to join it if he wants to cut these guys off and make the noise. Yeah. We are looking at another update in 10 or so minutes. I'll come back at you then with the distance to finish, the speeds and all that for these three. You see, it's a fair distance if you really look at it, but they are all really close. The other two, all the way down here, Frontier and Crocus, wherever Crocus is, I'm zoomed up too far for it, probably not gonna, well, Frontier might have a chance, but I don't think Crocus will make it in the allotted time limit. Looks like they've been battling some kind of problem and they just haven't caught it through because they don't want to give up, and all power to them. But yeah, it may be a thing. If I was to overlay the wind, man, come on, we've kind of got that southerly flow happening at the moment, which is not helping a lot. I mean, once they get on the line here, it will be okay, but it's not helping a great deal. Yeah, who knows what Crocus has been dealing with, because either that or they've just got a slower boat. It's just South Brisbane kind of area where the finish line is. Show you what the currents are like real quick. Yeah, I think Crocus may have been fighting currents more than they wanted to be. Frontier looks like they've got on a decent current now. That should take them, even if it takes them off course a little bit before allowing them back on, that's not going to be a huge problem. But the last run up, and I've noticed this all day, the last run up, they're fighting the current coming down from the north. Yeah, don't ask how Sorrel did it, but that's the situation at the moment. Up to 8 times. So yeah. So take that off, and yeah, I'll update you next time I get an update. Okay, this is slightly longer, but I am within a few minutes of it updating, so yeah, I can't tell you a lot about these boats because I've got no idea, and to be honest, I haven't researched. I probably should have, but I haven't. I didn't know I was going to be making this video, but here we are. Yeah. No further dog fighting from these two. In fact, they've drifted apart, which is kind of good. If we go 10 times, you'll see they kind of came back together a little bit here, but since about this point, it looks like Mr. Lucky's been on a dead straight course, and my funny feeling is he's aiming to hit that line. Mr. Hardgrave. I'm hoping to still be recording when it updates so you guys can see the jump. But Hullabaloo's up by the Cordia, or the sponsor team's advertising. Mr. Lucky's the little red one down here, and Allegress is the white one. That's, well, not overly far away from Mr. Lucky, but yeah, and there's the finish line. It's these three that I'm more interested in, because if things converge, these three are going to have a fucking battle. Excuse my F-bomb. There you go. She's just updated. Distance to finish 38, 38.3, 35.9. So something's not quite updated. Hang on just a cotton picking second. That's actually better. That's a lot better. Still, 8 times is still a bit big. Okay, they aren't quite close enough for that, but you can see Mr. Lucky is going at about 6.8 knots. Allegress 6.6, so ever so slightly slower, but still could cause trouble. Jim O'Keefe has slowed down from where he was in Hullabaloo. He's 7.4 knots. He's still coming in like a freaking hot sausage. So if these two converge with him about where my mouse is I would say rough convergence point, things could get a little bit messy. I understand this is a 20-minute video already. It's gone on a bit long. I will stop the video here. I should really put it into the editing machine and get rid of that one F word, but I'm not going to worry too much about it because kids hear that shit all day, every day. Whether it's from their peers or from other adults, it's the fact. They hear it. So I'm not too worried about one. Yeah. What else can I say? Just booking up to be an interesting ending. I will record and upload the next video probably in about an hour or two, depending where these boats are. So they should all be closer by then. In actual fact, before I do that, let me just throw a point on the finish line and check each of these boats for you. So Mr. Lucky's on almost on the right bearing. I think I was correct in suggesting that Mr. Lucky was going to get onto that bearing line and stay there, or try to. So remember, over here we saw those currents coming down. They've got to deal with that. Yeah. Out of Greece. I mean, yeah, dude, you've still got to get on the right bearing. It's a little bit off, but there's time. This guy, he can't take the direct route, which is what that's saying, 35 meters. My guess is he's going to come in like a wounded freaking boat. Somewhere around there. So it's 23 meters, 23 not nautical miles. Sorry, I've been saying it wrong. Nautical miles off course. That's if he takes the route I think he's going to take. If he doesn't take that, well, it could be longer. He and as far as how far apart they are, nose to nose, 12 nautical miles, 13 nautical miles. Don't expect them to see each other. 3 nautical miles. Yeah, maybe you can see each other. Maybe you can. So, yeah. Primitive measurements, but that's triangulation for you. I will be back with another video when it gets closer to convergence. Until then, I'll see you later.